Hello, everybody. It is Jordan Yates, and today I'm here with Caro, Ricardo, and Emerson to talk about Zeus's new product that we've recently launched from the manufacturer Incessa. And we've been calling it the one click hotline clamp or one click clamp if you want to say a big old jumble of words. But to them, it's just a hotline clamp. So, guys, I'm so excited to have you here today. Let's do a quick round of introductions. We'll start with Emerson because you are in my bottom right corner of my screen.
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. I'm Emerson. I'm the international sales manager for Incesa, and so we are trying to penetrate the market in the US. The Hotline Clamp is an innovative product from our end, new stuff, and so we are happy to share information with you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited too. We've been getting a lot of questions, so I'm glad we have three of you guys here today to answer. Ricardo,
Yeah.
who are you? What are you doing here? We're excited to have you.
Thank you. My name is Ricardo Segura. It's a pleasure to be here, Jordan. I am the sales consultant in charge of bringing CESA to US market since almost 2 years. And thanks, everything is working.
Heck yeah. Caro, last but not least, I think you have a pretty special role in this product. If you want to tell us about that.
Sure. Hello, Jordan. Thanks a lot for having us. So I'm Cairo. I am a development engineer at ICESA. And specifically for the product we are going to be discussing today, I have had a great part in it, being responsible for its development alongside my coworkers. And yeah, I'm glad to be here to discuss it.
Amazing, because we got a lot of questions for you. So I am going to ask the first question, and I think it's kind of up to you guys who wants to answer. You could just go for it, raise your hand, however you want to do it. But first off, what is it? What is this clamp that we've been talking about? What is it? Give us the actual technical name and then kind of what it's used for.
Yeah, for sure. I can answer that. So we're gonna be talking today about a hotline clamp. For us, as you well mentioned at the beginning, we
Mm-hmm.
call it new hotline clamp because this is new for us as well, the concept of it. So when we are talking about hotline clamps, they are, in short, connectors that mechanically and electrically connect conductors in the medium voltage line.
Okay.
So we have the middle voltage line, we use the hotline clamp to connect, and then we can tap to a secondary device such as transformer, fuse cutout, or air brake switches, so on and so forth. So they are pretty much they are everywhere. So every time we see a transformer, we are probably going to be seeing a hotline clamp. So this is true in Brazil and also in the US and worldwide.
Yeah, hotline clamps themselves are well known of what it is, but yours has drawn a little bit more special attention because of this quarter turn technology and how quickly we can just get it on the line and how simply we do it compared to the traditional ways. I guess like a stirrup or what is the traditional way of doing this versus what we have in this technology?
Perfect. So when we talk about a conventional hotline clamp, normally we're going to have the eye bolt. So the eye bolt is the component responsible to approach the keeper. I'm going to be talking a little bit about that after. Approach
Hmm.
the keeper to the conductor. So when it's approaching and then it's pressing the conductor, we need the eye bolt to do its function. But the eye bolt requires lots and lots of turns. We are talking about 11, 12 turns,
Hmm.
which normally the lineman is not going out to install a single hotline clamp. He's going out to install dozens. And at the end of the day, this is extremely tiring for the lineman, and that's a fact. So when we developed our new hotline clamp, we thought about two aspects. The first, making it easier for the lineman to install it. So we do not have any longer 11, 12, even up to 15 turns,
Hmm.
but we have one fourth. And we also have a spring that is constantly pressing the conductor. So we do not have problems with the vibration that is
Hmm.
natural to the medium voltage line.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. Do you guys have I guess, linemen that are giving you feedback on this? Because I feel like it's rare that the manufacturers and designers often understand the issues in the field, like the fatigue on linemen for this. Like, how did you guys realize, hey, this is something we need to make? Like, this is an issue for the guys in the field.
Yeah, Jordan, there is an interesting point as well. The reason why we come up with this product is that we do have the full product category in hotline standard hotline clamps. So there goes with over 20 different types of hotline clamps that we manufacture over 50 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why we come up with some innovative products like new hotline clamps. So
Mm-hmm.
we are pretty much based on the application feedback from the utilities that we serve. So that's why we come up to this product. So this
Yeah.
is an interesting way and the pace why we come up with this new stuff to the market, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. And so that's me. I know I'm going way off of the questions. I had my own questions, and then I had the questions that all the linemen have been asking. So we have a long list of those that we'll get to in just a second. But I have one more Jordan question left because I always get excited in an interview and I deviate a little. So apologies. Um, every time I post this, there's two things. One, it's too good to be true, and two, oh, I bet that's like $200 a clamp. That's crazy. We're not going to talk actual prices because we know it differs based on who's buying it and how much they're buying it in. But with you guys having manufactured the traditional ones for years and transitioning into this, I imagine that the price per unit was still front of mind of knowing if it was way different, that it may not be likely people would buy it. Would you say that there is a huge differential in the cost of the two, or would you say it's comparable?
It is comfortable, right? And one of the things that we did to the US market specifically was to look at the competitors, understand their price point, and then position our product through the distribution
Mm-hmm.
to match the market price of the standard hotline clamps. So we are pretty much there, right?
Yeah.
No,
That's what I've been
no,
telling the guys. They don't believe me. And I'm like, I'm sorry, like buy some. You'll find out, place an order and you'll see.
yeah, but to your question, Jordan, it range the end price will range from 26 to $30, right? Which is pretty much the average price of the standard hotline clamps in the US.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, why wouldn't everybody just switch over to it? So that's
Yeah.
why we have the list of the frequently asked questions from linemen to address that and the concerns that may be stopping people from converting. Mostly from what we hear, it's too good to be true. So I'm going to transition us into those questions. I already asked the what is it. I think that was fair. Everybody wanted to start there. And let's see. Number two, is it necessary to strip the protected cable for this GLV installation? I think we should back up a second and say GLV, like what is that? That's part of the name of the clamp, GLV something 40 XFRD. Probably we should clarify that and then tell them the answer.
For sure. So GLV would be the standard name here in Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
as well as in the US, you guys call it Hotline Clamp. So
Okay.
it's pretty much the same product, just different names to call it. But
Okay.
when we are talking about GLV, but specifically Hotline Clamp, and already addressing your previous question, yeah, absolutely. We do need to strip the jacket from the spacer cable, protected cable,
Mm-hmm.
because the Hotline Clamp, it is designed ours, the new Hotline Clamp, but talking generally, it is designed to accommodate and then compress the conductor and
Mm-hmm.
then be able to transmit energy. But it is not developed to pierce. For that, we have a different connector that is altogether different. So
Okay.
yeah, all the time we're gonna need to strip it. Uh, and okay, perhaps you can think, oh, but wouldn't that be a problem? Not at all, because not most of the time, but commonly we have bare conductors. And when we have bare conductors, okay, you are good to go. We don't need to do
Mm-hmm.
anything besides brushing it. And if you have a jacket to strip, that is already conventional. So it's not like, okay, I have a hotline clamp and do I need to strip it? No, you always strip. You are going to continue stripping if you have a jacket.
Okay. That makes sense. I feel like I feel like that's a little obvious, maybe in the sense of, how the materials are supposed to touch each other, even if you're not a lineman, you kind of know like the different materials that can conduct and not. Um,
Yeah,
but maybe, like you said, their question was, does it pierce it? And the answer is no. So you would have to strip it. It's not like it pierces it as well. But you did
Yeah.
just mention there's a product that does. Is it something that can be used in conjunction with the hotline clamp, or is that just a fully different world in itself, the other product?
yeah. So the product that is able to pierce, we can use it in the medium voltage line,
Hmm.
protected medium voltage line. So we have spacer cables. But instead of using the conventional wedge connector that line mains are already so used to, we're going to be using a piercing connector, an IPC. So there
Okay.
we change the approach. We don't need to strip anymore. We connect, and then we have like a bolt that we shear. All right, the connection is made. So that is very different from the hotline clamp,
Hmm.
but the idea of not stripping the spacer cable, if that is like mandatory, so that we go with an IPC for medium voltage lines. If
Okay.
it's not, we are gonna still need to use wedge connectors and hotline clamps, and we still need to strip the cables.
Okay. I'm gonna need some pictures of these other products you're talking about so I can visualize it later. But
Okay,
I'm
for
sure the
sure.
sure the lineman can see it in their head as you're saying it. And same thing with my interview with Jared was like, okay, I know the guys know what you're talking about, but I'm missing a couple dots connecting in my head. So we'll connect on that after.
All right.
Um, okay. Ooh, this has been asked so many times, and thank God you guys sent me your spec sheet. But how does it work with different size conductors? Is there a range?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. There is a range, and the range goes from 3 gauge to 4 aught. And I'm gonna detail a little bit more on why we chose this gauge, this range, and
Mhm.
why it's so important that all the time the range that is being installed is within it. So talking about the conventional hotline clamp, I have one here with me, and I'm gonna show you so that I can explain it a little bit better. Then I go to the
Yay.
new hotline clamp. So this would be a conventional hotline clamp, the
Okay.
one the one that linemen they are used to.
Mhm.
So we are gonna accommodate the conductor in this region.
Okay.
If you have an area that is too big, the lineman is gonna need to turn the eye bolt too
Mhm.
many times.
Yeah.
Too many times. Now, if we're talking about the new hotline clamp, it's just one for
Mhm.
turn. That is already known. They are used to it when they see that, okay, I get it. But
Yeah.
why we do not do it bigger than it already is? Why the conductor range is not bigger? Because we do need a compression force, a clamping force in the conductor. So that's the main function for the hotline clamp. We have the
Mhm.
medium voltage line, we have the conductor, we need to connect it, and we need a clamping force that is not going to be too low, and the byproduct of it would be overheating, and
Mhm.
too strong that would compress and damage the conductor. We need a balance. Since we need a balance, we also need a range that is not going to be too small, the conductor, nor too big. And why we chose 3 gauge to 4 aught? Because we are aware that inside this range, inside this range, most cables in medium voltage lines are inside this range.
Okay.
So we chose this one since this is a new product, a new concept. We thought would be wiser to consider this range that is much more used. And okay, now we know that the product is being well received. Now we know that the guys are enjoying it. So now we can think about increasing the conductor range. But
Okay.
as far as we have, as far as present goes, we have 3 gauge to 4 aught.
Okay. So I think I'm gonna pull my spec sheets over here. You have the XFR, or sorry, the 40 XFR and the 40 XFRD. Those are slightly different ranges between the two, right?
Okay, perfect. So when we're talking about the main conductor for these
Mhm.
two products is going to be the same, 3
Okay.
gauge to 4 aught. This is for
Mhm.
the main conductor.
Main
Now,
conductor.
if we go to the tap conductor, that is the conductor that is going to be installed to transformers, fuse
Mhm.
cutouts, as I previously mentioned. So right now we have a small difference that is not that big. So we go from 6 gauge to 2 aught for one product, and then 6 gauge to 3 aught to another product. So it's very close. It's not that
Yeah.
distant, but we do have two different products. And in short, these two products, the difference between them is pretty much how the tap connection is made. But the main connection, that is where we can see the innovation, where this product differs from the others, is the
Mhm.
same. So we
Okay.
have a spring, we have the 1/4 turn, they are there.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense because I was looking and I was like, they look very, very similar. And I was a little confused. I'm like, okay, it's basically the same thing, but like you said, where it's making its impact, they're the same size, but where it's going to the tap instead, it's just a little bit more of a specified one. Okay.
Perfect.
I hope that answers your guys' questions, you linemen out there that keep asking me this question that I didn't know the answer to. And I'm sorry I didn't know the answer to sooner, but now you know the answer. So stop asking me. No, I'm kidding. No, you guys can ask anything you want, anytime you want. Okay, they asked basically the same question again. What about different size wire conductor, kind of same thing. Ooh, this one. We have a guy, I wish I had his handle right now because he has just been out here asking us over and over again and berating us with the answer about salt spray areas. And I think when I talked to the Zeus team, they said that you have to be like a certain amount of feet away from the water. Talk to me about this because the guy, he's in Florida and he has been just absolutely, he needs to know this answer and he cannot wait another day. So salt spray areas, what's the deal?
Perfect. So when we talk about salt spray, just we need to address something before. So we are aware that this product is made of aluminum, but it's not pure aluminum because the idea is I can hold it, and since I know how much the conventional weights, I'm like, this is too light. What is happening
Mm-hmm.
here? Then linemen, they know that this is aluminum, but it's not pure aluminum. It is
Mm-hmm.
plated. It's tin and copper plated. And when we
Okay.
plate it with these two materials, we change its behavior when we talk about corrosion.
Mm-hmm.
So now talking about how this product performs when it's connected to aluminum or copper conductors. So just to separate these two groups, when I
Mm-hmm.
say conductor, it could be cable or stirrup.
Okay.
So if we are downtown, if you are away from coastal environments, or even better, if you are in an area that is not that we do not have high concentration, high saline concentration, this product is going to work just fine with copper and
Mm-hmm.
aluminum, being it cable or stirrup.
Okay.
Now, if you are talking about coastal environments, so
Mm-hmm.
we do need to mind that this product is going to perform much better, and we strongly recommend that this product must be connected to aluminum conductors, being it cable or stirrups,
Okay.
or copper stirrups.
Okay.
So what is the difference? Because when you have stirrups that is made of copper, which is very, very used, where we are talking about aluminum cables and we are also talking about copper stirrups, they are pretty much 80, even more, the percentage in the main line.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about 90%. So this tube, it's good to go even in coastal environments. But if you have copper cables, so we recommend against because of the electrical series. So aluminum do not work so well near copper, and since the high silane concentration is there, it's not recommended for copper cables only.
For
But we
cables.
know
Okay.
that copper cables, the percentage is very low in Brazil, is very low in the United States as well. And every single new line that is being constructed, it's being used with spacer cables or bare aluminum cables. We are talking about ACSR, AAC. We are not talking about Cooper. Cooper is something very, very old. It's not
Okay.
being used right now. So yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
So copper cables are not recommended near salty areas, salt spray areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jordan, I have a question to Mr. Cairo now, right? But Cairo, do we have the South Spray test available to share with the linemen that Jordan is mentioning, for instance?
Thank you for your question, Emerson. Yeah, we do have, and this is basic for the development of this product. Since we know that when we are talking about hotline clamps, we do need three properties. There will be
Hmm.
electrical conductivity, strength, and corrosion resistance. And we cannot overlook any of them. We need to mind them all the time. So when we
Hmm.
develop this product throughout its process of development, we we've done more than one salt spray test, and we do have it to share to linemen and share to utilities because this product has behaved so well for more than 350 hours
Hmm.
inside a chamber with high concentration of salt. And the concentration of salt inside this chamber is much higher than we are going to see in coastal environments. All right. So we do have it to share. Thank you for the question, Amos.
Yeah, that's great because a lot of the guys that have reached out to me are in Florida, South Carolina. A lot of them are like along kind of coastal areas, and so I think they'd be really sad and left out if they couldn't use this clamp because they just were delivered some recently as samples. So I think they'd be devastated. But I love that we know copper cables are kind of a no, and then everything else we're pretty confident in. So it's good to have that differentiation. Um,
Perfect. Oh,
let's
Jordan.
see. Oh,
Oops, sorry
was
for
there a
that.
follow up? Sorry, no, I was just looking at my
Yeah,
questions.
if you allow me, I just would like to conclude my thought by saying that uh, as soon as we finish developing this product, we have some utilities in Brazil that were like, okay, I know this product's great, so now I want to test it near coastal environments. And we're
Hmm.
like, yeah, we also want to do that.
Yeah.
And when we did that, connecting this new Hotline clamp to aluminum conductors and to copper stirrups, they performed so well. And in fact, they have been performed well for over a year. That is pretty much the time that this product has been launched.
Okay.
So they are all the time giving us feedbacks like, okay, I've just tested your Hotline clamp, it's working fine, good job. And we are pretty much confident that with these two conductors, with aluminum being it stirrup or cable and copper stirrup, is gonna work just fine. So yeah,
Hmm.
if linemen or even guys from utilities are like, oh, I don't know if I should use it because now it's, but you always should mind that the only restriction is for copper cables near coastal environments. But we also know that when you're talking about copper cables near uh, coastal environments, the percentage of it being it in Brazil or United States, it's so low that it should not be a problem.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Ricardo, you have your hand up?
Yeah, so I'd like to add something to Cairo. Maybe would help the linemen to make more clear this subject. If we compare the standard hotline clamp with the new Jelly V and the new hotline clamp that INSES is proposing in US, uh, talking about coastal areas would be the same performance.
Okay. So it's just like the old ones would still have the same issue that they would be afraid of. Okay.
Yeah, good, good
That's
follow
fair.
up. Good follow up.
I was going to ask that, so I'm glad that you stated that. And also, you kind of answered my question already that I was going to ask next, which is how does it hold up after a year? That's what many people have asked. I'm sure they like to know longer, but like you said, it's not been around a super long time. But we do have customers that have had it for over a year and it's been holding up for them well. Is that fair to say? Like you just mentioned, it's lasted over a year already, correct?
Yeah, and in fact, for these utilities that I mentioned that are here in Brazil, it was pretty much like if it works well for a couple months in this region,
Mm-hmm.
I'm safe that it's gonna work well everywhere else. So for us, it was like, yeah, it has been working well, and we are pretty much confident that it's gonna continue working well for much more, much many more years.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's very comforting to hear because they're like, it's cool that the initial installation is so simple and so easy, but after that, are we going to have problems? And so all the troublemen out there are like, ooh, it looks like this is going to be a trouble call. Oh, this is going to be a trouble call in a month. And so I don't know if they're excited because they like trouble calls or if they're concerned that there will be some, but I think it sounds like the percentage is low. Have you had any experience with trouble calls around these or any of the stuff where it's like, okay, maybe we should be like conscientious of X situation? Like, is there something that we should be concerned about?
Perfect. Yeah, so far we haven't received any negative feedback saying that this is not working, it is not what we thought it would be. So yeah, as I mentioned before, it has been launched for a little bit over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, no negative feedbacks in the sense of this is not working well, this is not what we thought it would be. No, that's actually the opposite. The feedbacks have been great. And yeah, I'm trying to be fair here, not biased. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, definitely. And if people don't like it, like what I've learned is community is not shy. Like they're gonna tell us if they don't like it. So
yeah,
it's not like I'm worried about, oh, don't say this or that. Like they'll come out and tell us how they feel, which you'll see
yeah,
soon in some of the
perfect,
comments. Ricardo,
perfect.
is your hand newly raised or did is it still from the last
It's
time?
not, but I want to make a comment also.
Make a comment, Ricardo. We want to hear it.
Well, my point is that my background is automation. As you, I think you mentioned that you are automation also. And in
Hmm.
automation, since 30 years, I think we have spring connections, okay, to make the connections avoid vibrations in the future and so on. And those connections are there for the last 30 years, okay?
Hmm.
And this the concept of the spring connection to avoid heat, because in the way that if you have vibration in the medium voltage lines, we have vibration, you increase the heat point, okay, and you have a trouble call for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah,
This product doesn't have, okay,
yeah,
because he will maintain for decades the pressure, a constant pressure inside. This is to say that it's impossible to the or nearly impossible for this hotline clamp to turn it back, avoiding the compression. Okay.
perfect.
I'm getting PTSD talking about springs. I'm remembering the class I had in school, and it was one of my early engineering classes, and it was all about springs and the K factor, and I'm just like,
K
oh
factor is all
no,
that.
Yeah.
it's been too long. But yeah, no, I love a spring. I love a spring as long as you're not making me do calculations on it. So.
Perfect. I would like to follow up what Carlo just mentioned. It was a great introduction because for the conventional hotline clamp, we do have a component that would be called a lock washer or a spring
Hmm.
washer. That is pretty much something very the opposite of a spring because okay, it works well with vibration, but it's not
Hmm.
ideal because when I'm talking about medium voltage lines, vibration is there all the time, be it because of mechanical situations, electrical situations, or even thermal situations.
Hmm.
And for the new hotline clamp, naturally the one for turn aspect of it is gonna be the commercial appeal. So the guys
Okay.
are gonna look it and make a short movement and okay, that's it. But when you are talking about the technical situation of this product, because the one for turn is essential for installing,
Hmm.
I installed, and I detach.
Hmm.
That's it, the one for turn. But the spring here is what another technology for this product. So this
Yeah.
spring is compressing the conductor all the time to a level that is not going to allow the connection to overheat, and
Hmm.
also to a level that is not going to compress the conductor too much in order to damage it. So we have a balance, and that's pretty much what I mentioned before about the conductor range. That's why we cannot go too small or too big because this spring here is doing the job. And sometimes linemen they grab the New Holland clamp and they do the movement and they think, oh, the spring is too light. But in
Yeah.
fact, the spring is not being compressed yet. The spring is only being compressed when there is a conductor here. So
Okay.
yeah, we have these two great differences will be the one for turn and then the spring and how it works.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes
Okay.
sense because I think once again it adds to the whole too good to be true, and so I think the office people even are going to like this, the ones who are spending money because time is money out here. You know, people get paid hourly or per job or as they finish, and so I think there's that appeal as well to the people that are purchasing and looking at this from like a high level project overview of okay, they're going to be spending less time turning, but then also like we've been saying, we've been considering the linemen and all this, it should make their lives easier. Are you concerned that the linemen will become less muscular as they're not having to torque these clamps anymore? Is that because we see them torque other ones and we're like, dang, that guy is jacked. And so, what do you think? Will they stay in shape?
Did you think on that?
Did you consider that? Like the size of their arms might get smaller? Is they're going to be pissed?
That's a good question. Because being fair, I should think, and I would like to be a lineman, but I cannot. But perhaps with this hotline clamp, I can. So
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
we have a change in the situation now. So yeah, yeah. But that's a good question, in fact.
What to tell the union recruiters. Okay, let's move on to the comments. And I think if we've already addressed the technical portion of it, then we can just kind of be like, yeah, we already said that. But here's our salt spray guy that loves us so much. He said, and I cleaned these up a little because some of you guys out there were a little grammatically incorrect and it was hard to understand. So if I'm not exactly wording you, I'm pretty dang close. So he says, now leave it up on a pole in a salt spray zone for a year, then let me know how easy it is to remove. Have you removed one from a salt spray area that's been up there for a year?
Yeah, in fact, we have. In fact,
And
we
how
have.
easy was it?
It was easy. It was pretty
Oh,
much
he's
as
gonna be
easy as
pissed.
connecting it. Because I know where he's coming from. He's coming
Yeah.
from the fact that when you have the eye bolt that you need to, you have threads in the bolt. When you connect it and you need to detach it, now you can do that. You need to
Mm-hmm.
cut the conductor and then you
Mm-hmm.
need to kind of splice it.
Oh,
That's
I hate
not
splicing.
ideal at all. That's not ideal
Yeah.
at all. So they are avoiding it all the time. But as I mentioned, we've done that because in order to homologate one of our products here in Brazil, the utility said, I want this near a coastal environment for a couple months, and I want to see how it performs when I remove it. I want to see the view of it, and I want to see how easy it is to detach it. And uh, we were not surprised when the guys could detach it very easily, but linemen were because they are not used to it. They are not used
The
to it.
haters are going to be mad. The haters are going to be so mad. Um, someone else says Klein makes a 3/4 socket that works perfect on an impact. I think he was trying to say, well, I can just add a socket to my drill and or my impact drill and just put a regular standard one up there just as easily. What do you say to that?
Yeah, that's a good point because then we will have two different products, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because naturally he could do that and that would work just fine. But if we're talking about hotline claims as this one is, so that yeah, I think the comparison is not there because then you have one product that works fine, but
Mm-hmm.
the most fair comparison here will be with another hotline claim. So both of
Okay.
them will work fine. The one that this guy just mentioned, and also the hotline clamp. So it's not like don't go with it. Yeah, you can go with it, but why not go with the hotline clamp?
Amen. Next guy says, my drill tightens it just as fast. Does it? I'm just curious. What do you have to say to that? I always love. It's like you're a reporter on the street, and it's like, what do you have to say to this person? Because I'm going to
Okay.
reply to all the comments with our little videos after that. So because they love when we're sassy.
All
So
right.
what do you say to
So
him and his drill?
likely this comment comes from a place of he mentioned about having a drill, but then so just perhaps I haven't mentioned this yet, but to install a hotline clamp, being the conventional or the new one, we do need a shotgun house stick.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a secondary component that we cannot, as I mentioned, overlook, and we cannot say, I'm not going to use this to install a hotline clamp. Since the medium voltage line is there and the voltage is
Mm-hmm.
there, we do need to install it using an insulated secondary component. So yeah, we're still gonna need that. We're still gonna need the shotgun hot stick. And if you do need the shotgun hot stick, you cannot use a secondary tool, perhaps like a tool that is gonna make the process faster for the
Hmm.
conventional hot clamp. You still need to turn the shotgun hot stick, as I mentioned, 10 to 15 times because the shotgun is there. And yeah, there's not much to do about it.
That was what I was confused about when you said that because I'm like, are you attaching your drill to your shotgun stick? Because as much as I am unknowledgeable about so many of these things, and I am not a lineman myself, I have seen them install these with the shotgun stick, and I was like, I thought you had to use that. So maybe when we reply to this comment, he can reply back and show us how he's using his drill, or maybe we just misunderstood
Yeah,
each other. So
yeah, yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
my
No, no,
lineman
Maybe
with
it's
his
no, no. There is a
drill.
way. There is a way, Jordan. In fact,
Okay.
if it's a new line, if it's a new
Uh-huh.
line and it's not alive with energy, okay,
Hmm.
he can use it because could be in the
Okay.
ground. He's mounting the ground, something like that. But when it's alive
yeah.
with energy, he needs a stick like Kyrie is saying.
Makes
Perfect.
sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to come for you and your drill. I'm glad that you guys are here to defend our linemen. They're gonna hate me after this. No, I'm just
It's
kidding.
all about percentage of service, right? He's gonna be doing
Yeah,
that in new lines, much less than he's gonna be doing that in lines that are already there. But I
makes
get where
makes
he's
sense.
coming from, but a
Yeah.
shotgun stick is a must.
Oh, and I love the guys that comment this stuff because they always crack me up. Okay, next one. Mechanical malfunction waiting to happen.
All right. So yeah, in fact, I personally would expect a mechanical malfunction with the conventional hotline clamp because of the lock washer. So the conventional hotline clamp, when we install it, as I mentioned, I am very thin, but that doesn't matter if the lineman is strong or thin. He's gonna try to turn the shotgun hot stick as many times as he can so that he
Hmm.
feel like the connection is very, very well done.
Yeah.
All right. But okay, then he install it, the connection is there, but what can he do about the vibration that is gonna happen in the middle voltage line? Because
Hmm.
how strong I connect is not gonna compensate the fact that the middle voltage line is gonna vibrate. So the
Yeah.
lock washer is there to try to compensate it, but it cannot do as great job as the spring is gonna do. So when we have a spring, a hex spring is gonna perform much better than the lock washer. So a mechanical malfunction, I would say that the spring is there, and as long as the spring is functioning as it is gonna function for many, many, many years, mechanical malfunctions are not expected.
Love that. Ricardo, you had something to
Yeah,
say about that?
my comment would be from my previous experience, and we're going to talk about compression systems and spring load systems. Uh, you, you you have that to avoid issues, huh? When you
Hmm.
have to turn 14, 13 times, and sometimes with mechanical equipment, sometimes, not all, I'm not saying that for the linemen, they apply more than necessary force, okay?
Hmm. It's because they're so
And this
strong.
no, no. I think something that never happens. But if this happens, will create problems in the future. And
Hmm.
if he apply less force, will create problem in the future also. This is to say that when you have a compression system and the power that or the force that he creates is enough for that, and will absorb the vibration, the quantity of problems in the future or called troubles that they will receive will be much less compared to the standard hotline clamp.
Okay,
Perfect,
I like that.
perfect. And it is you mentioned something that is very true because I'm pretty much aware that linemen are doing a great job in the US, but the idea of this hotline clamp is kind of remove the dependency of the feeling that they have. Like, is it
Hmm.
strong enough? Did I press it good enough? We
Yeah.
don't want that because perhaps my vision is a little bit different from the vision of an experienced lineman. And
Yeah.
for the middle voltage line, we need constancy, and that's what the spring is going to provide.
I feel like the magic is in the spring, and that is something we learned today. So we had a couple other comments I'm going to skip over because honestly they're just repetitive. So I'll probably use what we just said to respond to some of the others. But the one thing that I wanted to mention towards the end, because I told you guys this would be 20 minutes. Oopsies, we're at 40. I didn't expect a clamp to be so interesting. I keep getting surprised by that. The product development side of things, which Caro, this is something that like hopefully maybe you have some something cooking for. I've heard this so many times of need to make something like that for a set of grounds. Need to make a set of grounds like this for testing breakers. This would be a huge game changer in the industry if you could also use this for grounding. What do you say to that?
Perfect. Yeah,
That's the point.
that's a very good point because this is, believe it or not, is something that we have been hearing in Brazil as well. So set of grounds for this would be a huge game changer. And we are aware of it. So you mentioned about the process of how we develop the product. So we approach the development of this hotline clamp with something in mind that we know what is not working and we know what we can do to improve what is not working.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps the approach for a set of round will be pretty much similar. I cannot tell you that we have something in mind. We are developing something for a set of grounds, but we do know that there are some good there are similarities between this one and the set of grounds,
Mm-hmm.
and we do know that the standard is going to be a little bit different, but we already have a background that perhaps is not 100% there, but we are on already. So it's something that we must discuss. It's not
Mm-hmm.
something that I'm gonna tell to the audience like, no, we are never gonna do that. In fact,
Yeah.
it's something that I appreciate the comment, and we are gonna look into it.
Ooh la la! I sense some hotline. Wait, what is it called if you're grounding it? It's not. Is it not a hotline clamp anymore? What is it if it's for grounds? What would be the technical term?
Yeah, that would be
There will
okay.
be a lot of names for that, but let's
Set of
stick on
grounds.
grounding clamps. Huh?
Yeah, that would be set of grounds. That would be
A set
set
of
of
grounds.
grounds.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, it seems like you said, this is kind of the pipeline of how things get made is we hear the feedback from the field, and it sounds like you said in Brazil you're hearing similar things. This spring technology seems to be very life changing to a lot of people, and it looks like it possibly could be applied to other areas. So I think step one to my US linemen is let's get this hotline clamp out there. Let's get you guys using it and used to it. And then maybe there'll be a new product in the future to solve this other problem you guys are mentioning. So
Yeah,
um,
perfect.
I'm excited to see what is to come, and I'm excited to see this in more of our guys' hands and just out there on the lines. And um, like I said, this has been a crazy, interesting piece of hardware where you talk to most people, it's really hard to make hardware interesting, but this has on its own as a functional clamp without even any people's personalities attached to it been a very hot topic. So I applaud you guys for creating this, for getting it out there, and we're excited to use it in the US. Any other closing thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, I'll let you mention two things. The first will be something that I previously addressed. That is how the development of this product happened. And all right, we do have some components made of aluminum. We do have some components made of polymers. And for the springs, we went with stainless steel
Mm-hmm.
because we do understand how crucial it is for the connection. So we have a material that is not going to perform in a different way, regardless of where it is installed. Being it coastal environment, being it
Mm-hmm.
downtown, is going to perform pretty much the same.
And yeah, I'm so happy you guys spent the time to talk us through this today. We've talked with a couple manufacturers here and there about market stuff, but not as in depth about the actual technology. So uh, we're excited to be working with you guys and getting this out in some linemen's hands, and hopefully the purchasers' hands as well, guys. Give me some POs.
That's it. That's it.
All, all
Well,
right, guys.
zoos have, I think in some weeks we'll have everything in stock. And this is to say that US will be very well stocked with this product with zoos.
We can't wait.